DUBTurbo 2.0, tutorial video number 2, advanced version of what you can do with the software. I'm going to open up a couple of the tracks that I've made previously that fill up some of the kits a little bit more, or some of the channels a little bit more. We use up some more of the grid. This features double ups on drums, voxes, rolls. The quantizing is doubled at 198 BPM. Compare these beats to what you hear out there, and you'll see that DUBTurbo does not come short, especially when you double up on sounds. Once you combine two sets of flutes, two sets of whatever you're working with, they sound hot. And same with the drums when you overlay enough stuff. So I'm going to shut up, stop babbling, play about 3 or 4 of these beats, and then we'll break into one. We'll make one from scratch. Shut up, Norb, play the beat. I'm going to play that again and reiterate, this is all DUBTurbo stuff. You guys have access to every single sound you're hearing. I haven't added anything. There's no extras going on. It's all exactly what you guys can do at home right now. And notice the leveling too. The drums are a lot higher than a lot of the instruments. And that's traditional, so get used to doing that within dub, because the instruments are recorded much louder so you guys can mix down instead of mixing up and fighting with the volumes. Here you go. Can't say that's not hot. It's nice. So we'll open up a couple others. You'd probably recognize some of these. I tried to make a couple covers here and there. Actually, this one's nice. Click on the loop node, re-drag the last loop. I can't get enough of that, but this video is going to get really long if I don't move along. So we'll open up one more, say in the house or techno-y genre. And here we're working with about 130. It's a nice progressive build-up, and hopefully recognize the track. Really like that one too. I will open up one more. Why not? We'll go back to the hip-hop, R&B, reggae. Last one, and we'll get into the actual beat making process. I know a lot of you guys are trying to hit that Scott Storch, Timba, Dr. Dre, Neptunes feel, the new age sort of ethnic-y, foreign yet wicked drum patterns. Well, the signature style that's all out there everywhere that everyone's trying to mimic and duplicate. Yeah, we can do that too, and some of the beats that you just heard, I think, reflect that really well. This one's really nice, so we'll move into an actual beat after this, and then once we're done, you guys can confidently say that you've built a Scott Storch sounding beat yourselves. a change up nice and early. So you can hear a lot of stuff going on in there, right? The rolls, little voxes, the drums have a lot of little rolls in there happening too. A lot of complex stuff seems to be happening, and it might be intimidating, but it's not that complex. You just have to figure out your chord structure if you're going to use one, or the notes you're going to be sticking to, and then just start getting really creative with them and changing up patterns a lot. And you can't really do that until you have a bunch of layers filled in. So that first initial fill, which we're about to walk through, you fill in those 10, 12, 15-ish layers, leave a couple open for the rolls and the drops and the voxes later, and then you just start getting creative with how you arrange it. Okay, so let's start with a brand new beat and walk through the process at a nice high BPM. So we have a new canvas open. First thing we'll do is take this right up, 198. Okay, so really the beat's 99 BPM and we're doubling it to 198. Pencil tool, click, hold, drag, layer 1. I really like to take my time with the drums. I really like to make sure that I have a good combination of drums going, because those are oftentimes the most important part of the beat. And there's so many drums in DUBTurbo and so many kits and so many combinations available to you that it could take you a long time to get the beat perfectly where you want it. Alternatively, you can be really random, freestyle it, and it might turn out hot your very first lick at it. Okay, so if we're trying to achieve that Storchy, Timba, New Age, Neptunes feel, we got to find kits and sounds that accommodate accordingly. So they use a lot of toms, they use a lot of experimental, abstract, light sounds to fill in the little spots along the grid. So we'll try to find a few of those first. We'll go to our kit collection, that stands for kit call dash tom kit. These are all toms. So already we can very easily, at 198, just follow exactly what I do, drop the notes exactly where I'm dropping them, pause the video where you need to, and try to follow along. Okay, that's interesting. We'll just quickly roll this out to 4. Click, hold, and drag, holding down Shift, drag our loop node out, and then the second one, click on the bar, Control E to open up the bar. We'll change up a little bit. Okay, so this will give us a nice little change up in both. A little too much happening at the end there. Let's get rid of some of those. Just have 2 and back to the beginning. Okay, layer 2, click, hold, and drag. You can let that keep playing as you keep developing. If at any point in time you want to change up the kits to see how they sound with different combos, just change up the kit accordingly. Once you have a beat that you're happy with, leave it for now, and let's move on to some of the sounds to contrast it with and complement it with. Now what I'll do is just copy those right down. I'm going to find a base that's going to go right with that. Okay, not bad. I'm going to do another base just below that that's really, really low. That's too low. Let's see. Let's try to find a better one than this. It's a little bit too crazy, too low. There we go. I like that. Nice. Turn down those chords a little more. We'll keep going. Next layer. We'll try to find some cool flutes. Copy that over. Nice and simple. This second one, we can maybe raise the second guy. On the F. Okay, and then we're going to double up on that flute too. So we'll change track 9 to a key. I don't know if I should just double it or if I should draw it in, but let's start off with doubling it. And choosing another flute. Actually, maybe a guitar. A nice easy strum. I like that. And I'm going to actually triple on it. Okay, not bad. Copy that over again too. And then once we get to the 8-bar section of that last bit, we'll break it down. So it'll go dun 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 dun, and then it'll come back and drop in nicely. So let's do that real quick. Bring this to 8. Might be jumping ahead of myself here a little bit, but that's okay. What's nice about this is when you bring it to 8, now this whole loop can be somewhat accented and different and arranged, so it's not just the same, you know, loop going over and over again. It kind of points to build it out that way. Build it out so that it's got a little bit of a change up and a little bit of a diversity happening within your melodies. And again, you don't even need more than a few notes at a time. Once you structure and put a few layers together overlapping each other, figure out what chords or notes you're going to stick to and stick to them across all the layers that you're going to do. And you'll know if something sounds off. Your ear should be tuned enough that you know, okay, that doesn't sound right. It's on the wrong note. So stick to the notes that you're supposed to be on. So we want it to go dun 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 dun. There we go. So now it'll have a nice drop there. And then on the beat, when we get to the end, I always like to change it up a little bit here as well. Okay. Should we change this? What do we got here? Yeah, we should. There we go. Let's see how this sounds now. Actually, wait one more second. Let me just even these out. Okay, see how it went down there for me? Nice and light. And then the change up sounds just really good when it goes back. So what else we can do here is, in the modern, if there is a crash, there is. Oh, that's not a really good crash. Okay, so good problem to have, so I can outline this really quickly. I just want to add a crash in there. Click once, you don't need to click hold and drag. All you want is, hey, what do you know? Crunk 3 has a crash, and it's on layer 10. That's all we want. Okay, I'll still want to double up on some of these drums, and I'll do that, or keys more than the drums, and I'll do that later on in the track. What I want to move into now real quick is the rolls. I love to do my rolls of drums with the keyboard. Well, you have to do them with the keyboard. So what I'll do first is find toms, and we'll do a tom roll. The tom rolls are nice. That was not bad. It's a little bit too thick. Okay, this one's nice. We'll work with this. So to roll it, we'll simply go boom, boom, and then as we get to the second part, actually we'll start even here. Okay, visually you can see what's happening. It's rolling down. We could have did the same thing going up, and it would have went and then boom, drop the beat in. So we'll put that at the very, actually we'll put it right here so you can hear it better than when everything else is going on, and it'll drop in this next section nice. And to illustrate that, we'll click, hold, and drag and copy this symbol over. Here you go. Kind of light, so you might not hear it too well. Let me just mute everything except the roll and the drums. And a strum. We don't need to put everything to mute. Nice, right? Let's just mute that roll. Or sorry, let's just solo that roll so you guys can hear it. Nice and simple. Now all I have to do, I like that roll. Why not? We'll duplicate that down, and this time we will make it. If that ever happens, don't worry. All you gotta do is flip, and it pops back up for you. We're not sure why that happens, but it'll be cleared soon, don't worry. All you do now is go back to some of the drum sections and pick a snare, and this time you'll hear a snare roll down. Actually, the jungly snares sound good when they roll. Let's check that out, and we'll put that at the very end, and we'll still leave the rest muted. This sounds hot with just the strum and the here. Let's bring the bass in too. We can hear that. Both basses. Okay, we'll use those, but not too often later on in the track once we build it out. So now we'll go to the next layer, 12, and pick drums. And now we'll move over to the Voxes. You guys will see that there's just a ton. I don't even know how to start demoing these for you guys, but the Vox Fems are straight out full words or sentences. Okay, and as we move further along, you'll hear longer ones, and funny ones, and cool ones. Like that.
Like gangsta, killer, sexy, snare, rock, you know.
Then we move into, excuse me, then we move into the males.
Please, shorty, what?
If you really pay close attention, you'll hear there's about 4 left ear, right ear, and different octaves filtered going through this, so it's really full and adds a lot of really nice stereo imaging to your beats.
Smoke, sexy, pass, go.
Hope you guys are hearing it.
Please,
Left ear, right ear,
puff, shorty, what?
and about 4 octaves, 3 or 4 octaves.
Shorty,
Well, maybe not 4, but 2 or 3.
what? Shorty.
Okay, so let's use some of these before I start getting you guys bored with just listening to the samples. You can do this on your own. Pick something you really like.
Bling, hey, G, hey.
The next one's female vocals here.
Billionaire, can you feel the beat? Can you feel me?
Okay, they're somewhat more raw, less affected, just a little bit of a reverb or a one-time echo here and there. And then as we move further down, you'll start seeing a lot more effects, gunshots and explosions and shells. And then we also move some of the instruments in here as well. Some scratches, some sirens, and then the Voxics. The Voxics are really cool. And the Voxics are basically a sentence broken up into each of the pads.
What's the matter? Murder rude here, rude boy here,
Okay, so you can really crunk this out and
rude boy here, boy here, rude boy here, boy here.
figure out what you want it to sound like before we even lay it just on the keys.
Matter, what's the matter?
Anyway, you can start getting really creative with it. And then we have really quick, and a couple of the other ones, these tiny little sounds. And they're not errors, they're in there on purpose. If you guys are like that, oh, he didn't finish the sample. Nope, we want those in there because you can do really interesting little rolls. Don't really hear them too well. Let me get rid of some of these other ones. Okay, and they're just little accents. You don't even need that many in there. I kind of went overboard just so you can hear them. But they also add a cool little accent to your beats. Little background, little and then those can be changed in volumes too to differentiate how much they take over the beat. Copy it over, and that first got, we'll just change it. Right? Just copy both of those over and then turn that down. Nice how everything's color coded too for you guys, so it's easy to maneuver back and forth between the apps. Next layer, keys, next layer, keys, last 2 drums. There, we filled up all 16. We haven't filled these in yet, but all we're going to do here is double up. Now that we have a nice 8-bar loop going, we're going to double up on the melodies because we've made them sweet. So you copy down your flute, and we're going to double up on the flute with maybe another flute or a complementary sound to a flute. Okay, that's nice. We'll use that. Just bring it down a bit. Don't forget we've muted a bunch of the other layers too. Let's bring all those back in now. Nice. So now I'll grow this to 16. Grow our loop nodes out. I'm going to select everything again. Actually, no, I'm not. What I'm going to do is This time I'm gonna change up the drums to be a little bit more full. I'll just drag my loop nodes around just the drums, and then excuse me. Layer 4, I haven't used anything yet, and I don't hear what I want in those two kits, so I'll just have to draw in 2 more bars and find a nice kit that has a couple nice hi-hats. There we go. I want a hi-hat and an open hat, so I can go and I'm going to duplicate that again and just change the second one a little bit. Okay, now this part of the beat's going to sound much more full because it's got a lot of the hi-hats going in there. Here, I forgot to do the open hat. We'll add that near the end. On both. I'm going to see if I can find a better one than that. Better set. Okay, so now we'll copy all these guys over and these guys over and then change up these drums a little bit as well. Oops. Okay, start dragging some of these guys over. And from here on out, I'm going to get very creative with how I lay some of the patterns and change ups. Those rolls, I don't want happening everywhere. So, I'm going to have to move those around. The voxics, I don't want those over here. The double up on the flute, yes I do. The strum, yes I do. Maybe we'll change that up a little bit too. The first flute we'll leave out, so this is going to be a little bit of a different set than the first 8. Want that again, definitely. And already this will be a nice change up from here to here. Nice. So now what we do is, or what I tend to do is, I open up room for the rolls to happen. So when that little tom roll is happening, I know it's near the end, it's going to go brrr. I'm going to want to open up and erase some of the sounds in some of these bars just to leave room in my ear for that tom roll to happen nice and clearly for me and get rid of some of the other stuff. That really tends to bring in that next boom in really nice. Those can stay. Okay, so even that, I'll bring this over just so you guys can hear it real quick. Why not get rid of those two? Right? I'm going to put a symbol there too. We're missing one. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing over here. We'll get rid of some of the drums to make room for the snare roll. Where's my snare roll? Here. This roll should be there too. Okay, we'll get rid of some of the sounds in this one as well. Yeah, why not? At least the last couple. The last little bar there. Okay. Okay, now I'll grow this out again. It's time to 32. Now what I'll do is the kit that I'm using up here, we'll still copy our Tom collection, and then I'm gonna copy this over as well. So our main lead drums, but I'm gonna move those all down. Can I move more than one vertically down? No. Okay, so just one at a time if you have to. And I'm gonna give this drum kit a different set of drums. Beatbox. Not bad. And then we'll just bring in one or two. This will be like a little bit of a change up for us. And if you don't like that beatbox or you want to add to it, just open up some of the layers. Okay, and then we'll double up on the drums again underneath that. Whoops. I'm trying to copy these drums. And then assign these drums as well. Just to something different. And what are we going to bring in there? We'll bring in our bass line as well. Okay, and then that chord, we can move that down to what? The flute. So what I'm trying to do here is move some of the flute arrangements up and then move some of the chorded choruses down, so it'll still follow the same sounds or same patterns, but different sounds interchanging with themselves. So the flute, the main flute, sounds like so. And now I'm going to use that same doo doo doo. Doesn't really do justice. Let's move it onto the strum. Okay, That works a little bit better too. So now we have a nice 16 bars with a bit of a change up. And then once the change up's done, we can bring our regular fast. Actually, let's bring this part back in. So I want those drums back in, and then I'm gonna want, yeah, why not? I'm gonna want all this stuff here. I'm gonna want the flute, yes. I'm gonna want the Voxix, sure. In fact, I'm gonna put one of the Voxix here as well. I'm gonna put a snare roll near the end, and I can keep going here. I mean, from here I'm just gonna go to 64 and do some more change ups, and just here, I'll just do it, why not? Show you how easy it is. Just copy all the bars over a bunch of times, and then I'm gonna get you guys to simply grab your eraser, and so it's not all exactly the same over and over and over again. We're gonna be random here, okay? We're gonna erase 2, and then we're gonna erase 4, and then we're gonna erase these 4, then we're gonna erase these 4, and then we're gonna erase the strum, and then we're also gonna erase some of the voxes. The flute, yeah, we don't want that over and over and over again either. We'll stop that for 4 there and stop it for 4 there. So you see what I'm doing? I'm starting to get very creative with the arrangement. Chances are this is going to sound really good because I'm changing it up often. And now what else we can do is grab some of these and literally just move them around, because a lot of the times you don't know what is, oops, we can't move them vertically in groups just yet. Move them one at a time. We don't know what it's going to sound like until you do this part right here that I'm doing. So I just moved my bass sounds up to the low quick bass sounds, and then, you know, I can move other stuff around too. The rolls I wouldn't mess with too much, but you can get creative on your own. I don't want to get this video to be too much longer. But already now we've filled up everything except for one track here. I'm going to leave it in case in the future I get a fancy idea or want to double up again on one of these to keep going. So here's 64. We'll let it play out once. This should conclude the advanced video, and I welcome questions you guys have, so feel free to email in support@DUBTurbo.com or drop a few comments. Enjoy the beat, enjoy the beat maker. From here on out, it's literally nothing but creativity, and in the next video we'll go over a couple different genres, and we're also going to teach you guys how to create your own kits and import them into DUBTurbo as well. Enjoy.
Got